It's Perp back with another video, and I finally got done watching the limited series called Mask Girl on Netflix. There's about 7 episodes. Two of the episodes out of the seven are probably like the shortest, but everything else is like kind of like an hour. But man, this was a fantastic watch. This series was dark. This series was funny at times. Just everything emotional, traumatic, everything you can kind of think about. But this is following our main character, Momi. She is the mask girl herself. I liked how this series was kind of set up like a anthology series where each episode we kind of get to see a different point of view with these different characters that you're going to follow. So the first episode, starting with Momi, she was really big into dancing, but as she got older and things started to kind of change in her life where people kind of looked at her as ugly, and she started to kind of just be very insecure about her looks, hence why she wears the mask. And then as she grows up into adulthood, she starts to do these live streamings. Like, she becomes a cam girl because she feels like this is the only way I can truly be me, because people at my job can't accept me for who I am. And people really treat her like shit, and she's trying to just be accepted. Then we get to like episode 2, where we get introduced to Onam. I hope I'm pronouncing his name right. And he just gives anime fans a bad rap because he's kind of like your stereotypical closed off from everything mama's boy, watches like hentai, he got a bunch of pocket pussies everywhere and stuff. That man is wild, bro. I do not like his character at all, but he has a lot of similarities to Mimo, where he's not accepted at all, and he's even ignored by Mimo. But he finds out that, who Mask Girl is, and he finds out it's Mimo because like he pays attention to Mimo. He really wants to protect her, and he's very overprotective, and that goes into who Onam's mother is, and why he's so overprotective, and why he turned out the way he turned out. And the first 3 episodes do a very brilliant job of setting up the last 4 episodes, as far as episode 1 focusing on Momi, episode 2 focusing on Onam, and then episode 3 focusing on Onam's mom. Because what ends up happening in episode 2 is one of the followers of Mask Girl, Momi, ends up, finding out, or goes on a date, not knowing that this guy's a scumbag, tries to take advantage of her, and then one thing leads to the next where she kills this man. And this whole time, Onam, he is trying to protect her and stop that from happening. But it gets worse, because before this, she started to get leaks. She started to get emails of her leaked live streams where she was just drunk one time and she was naked, and it's very embarrassing. And this was really the breaking point for her character, which comes back in episode 2, while Omnam is going there to help her get rid of this body, and come to find out this body's not even dead. He was just knocked the fuck out cold, and he finishes the job. But then once Momi finds out that Onam was the one that sent the email and embarrassed her, she gets revenge on him and ends up murking him. Not before him doing some very terrible acts to this woman. And then episode 3, this is where things get really crazy, because then we get introduced to Onam's mother, Miss Kim. And Miss Kim is my favorite character because she really brings the humor into this, and you kind of understand why her son turned out the way he turned out, and her not even knowing all the stuff that he was involved with or how the media is trying to paint him. She goes as far as to learn the lingo, learn technology to find out exactly what happened to her son and who killed her son, and her whole arc of just going down this path of revenge to get revenge on whoever did this to her son was so brilliant. And then episode 4 and 5 is where the story really shifts, where episode 4 is where we see Momi's only friend and how she gets involved with the whole conflict between Momi and Miss Kim, and how she's just driven by revenge. And she's explaining her whole story, and I liked how that whole thing kind of got resolved. Not really resolved, but what ended up happening at the end of episode 4, because Momi and Miss Kim have a confrontation, which leads one character to die, but it would assume that two characters died. So then we shift to episode 5, where this was really crazy, where we jump into present day, because they jump around a lot at different points in time, but we dip into the future or the present day, and we see Momi's daughter, and how this whole rumor of her mother being a serial killer is starting to spread, and how that's starting to take effect on her life, and how that stuff is just starting to be passed down. And it's really disgusting, man. It's just like, a little girl does not deserve that, no matter who her parents are. You know what I'm saying? She's really innocent in that. And I like Momi's character, and her connecting with her friend Young Chin. I think that's how you pronounce her name. And how they kind of build a relationship off them kind of being outcasts from society. And I just like how that is like an overall theme, how society really molds people. They can either be molded in a way that they'll just get picked on until they hit their breaking point. And that's what really happened with Momi and also Omnam. Then we get to episodes 6 and 7, where they start to bring everything full circle, where we see that now that Momi is living out her rest of her days in prison, she's a straight up menace to this gang. And it really reminded me of like an episode of Wentworth, but like the Korean version of it. It was fucking dope. I really like that. And we see how disconnected she is from everything else. Her actual mom and her daughter, not even knowing that, Miss Kim is still out there. And that's what kind of drives her to kind of go down this path of redemption. Not only that, but her being locked up, she found faith. And I really like that, where she leaned into this villainous role, and now she wants to kind of be redeemed and tries to save her daughter. And I just loved how this whole story came about, and it was really dark and really was no holds barred. It had really interesting characters, and just how all the storylines kind of intertwined, the parallels, and kind of just breaking that cycle of hatred and revenge. Thought everything was really well done. The way that this whole series was shot, I just really like the cinematography and the stakes, and I even just like the overall message that this series is trying to kind of put out there, that be careful how you raise your kids. You never know. You gotta show them love. You know what I'm saying? I just really enjoyed the series. That's all I really had to say about it. That's just my kind of short take on it. If you have seen this series, let me know how you guys feel about it. Till next time, I'm out. Peace.